We are live. So, hello, everybody. Today, I have the real pleasure and privilege of speaking to a wonderful lady that I met during a 30-day video challenge. Her name is Naomi. She's a health and well-being coach, and there was something really, really inspirational about Naomi when I was watching her videos. And she was just somebody that I think that the SG Careers and Job Coach tribe are going to get so much wisdom from and so much inspiration. So, hello, Naomi. It's great to have you with us today.
Hello, Soma. Thank you. That was a lovely interview, and I really enjoyed connecting with you on the video challenge as well. I think we're very compatible.
Yeah, it's great to meet like-minded people like yourself. So, just to kind of start off, please tell us a little bit about yourself and who Naomi is.
Oh, great question.
Mm,
Well, my full name is Naomi Martell Bundock.
mm,
Uh, I have my own business, which is Core Sense, and
okay.
that's all about well-being coaching,
Mm,
helping people take back control of their lives.
mm.
And then you kind of go, oh, well, what else do you want to know? Do you know what? I could just tell you some really basic stuff, but I'm
Yeah.
45, so I'm
Mm,
very much in the middle of my life. Uh,
okay.
I would say it's the prime of my life, but actually I think there's lots of primes in my life. This is just one of them. And I have a lovely husband and two boys, 10 and 12.
Oh,
And the thing that I do tell people about, because then they understand that I understand what it's like to juggle, is that
yes.
eldest boy has additional
Okay.
carer as well as a parent, wife, and individual person.
Wow, amazing. Wow. Oh, and so you have obviously like a lot of things that you juggle every day as well as your business. I mean, how do you maintain that? Because this sounds like a lot there, really.
There is absolutely, and in
Mm.
fact, until a couple of years ago, I used to be the chairperson of a local voluntary children's charity as well.
Yes.
I actually, in the end, I realised that it was either going to be the voluntary charity or my business, and so for the moment,
Mm.
not the
Yeah.
charity, but it focuses on the business. So the way I cope is
Mm.
I make lots of lists and I write lots of things down. That really works for me. I know it doesn't work for everybody, but it's a
Yeah.
way of me organising everything
Mm.
that's kind of going on in my head and in my life.
Mm.
I get support. And I say that because, uh, kind of 5 years ago,
Yes.
got support, whereas now I have a lot of support and I
Mm.
open myself up to receiving that and I
Yeah.
really accept it in whatever
Mm.
form it comes.
Yeah, so like it's juggling a lot and just making sure. And lists obviously work for you, and it's great that you said that lists don't work for everyone else. And talking about lists and practicality, obviously a lot of what you do is to do with health and well-being. What are the kind of main things that you see that your clients actually come to you with, the kind of challenges that they have that you help them with in terms of well-being?
So it can be anything.
Hmm.
People will often come to me for something that almost looks, for want of a better term, a bit like the surface. So
Okay.
that might be, if I say it's hard to explain because you can talk to lots of people and
Yeah.
they'll talk maybe about their relationship or parenting,
Okay. Hmm.
career, as in like your sort of your tribe as well.
Yeah.
And it's, I can help people with that.
Yes.
My real gift is when it's actually something deeply emotional that's going,
Mm,
that's
yeah.
keeping them stuck.
Mm,
People won't know that necessarily. They might have an inkling, but they haven't really delved into it.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Meeting me like you, they'll be drawn to you, and then
Mm,
as you talk with them, that deeper stuff comes out, and then they
yeah.
realise that actually there's something going on that's just holding them stuck. It's keeping them back from
Mm, mm,
achieving
yeah.
what they want to in their life.
So basically, it's like people come to you with a broad spectrum of things, and every person is probably an individual who comes to you with. I mean, can you give me a little example? Give us a little example, maybe something.
Sure. And that's the thing, kind of, I know it's easier if you've got a really clear niche. Like I
Mm.
help people with phobias of driving. That
Okay,
would be
great. That's a great
easy
example. Yeah.
that. But I do that, and I do so much else as well. So one of she came to me because she had a fear of driving.
Yes.
5 years on, I mean, literally, she wouldn't even drive a Mini. She
Oh,
was
wow.
just stuff. She now drives a Porsche.
Wow.
So exactly. I mean, I love that story because it's just absolutely great. I have another lady who worked with me last year, working on some very personal things, but we were looking at everything. We were looking at her life. We were looking at her business. She's a business owner. She now has 3 businesses. Doing 2 of them are kind of related, but one of them is very different.
Yeah.
And it's very much about giving people the support that they need to go out and do things. But then I saw her last night. It happened, and her dad was just taken. He's 88. He was taken very ill. They were on holiday, and she was describing a scene which I won't go into. Other than to say, she was hosing down the shower whilst her mum was looking after her dad.
Yeah.
And she was doing that. She was smiling to herself and saying, I would never have been able to do this before I worked with Naomi last year.
Oh.
And all I can do is share that, and of course that will bring up for people what it brings up.
That's
So
really, that's really quite inspirational. And I think what it is with well-being, I'm seeing myself, and I think a lot of us are seeing now that there's a trend in health and well-being and looking after ourselves. And I think it's really, really important that we make time for maybe 5 minutes of meditation or mindfulness and all those kind of things. But as you are a well-being coach, what are the 3 kind of main things that you would recommend to anybody who is listening and watching today?
Well, as we were saying before, obviously everybody, before we started the interview, I'm afraid, we were talking about people are individuals. Well, it's a bit like I said at the beginning, I write to-do lists, they don't work for everybody. But if I had to come up with 3 kind of general but good, what I would call intentional steps, the very first thing is to spend time every day connecting with your core self.
Okay.
And that's the reason my business is called Core Sense. It's about connecting with your core sense. And that's very much about, it could be that 5 minutes of meditation that you just mentioned.
Yeah.
It could be that you are sitting with a cup of herbal tea, normal tea, whatever it is, but just taking some time to really stop and breathe and go inside of yourself and go, okay, what's really happening for you? It could be that it doesn't matter how you do it, is what I'm trying to say. And again, I've got a list as long as my arm, but it's about just finding time to go inside and check, right, what's working here for me. That would be my number 1. Number 2 is very much spend as much time as you can only doing things that you love, things that really like.
I like that one.
Well, it's really important you think about it. When we're working, that's a chunk of our time. And, it'll be the same with you as a career coach. If you're not happy in their work, it really does affect everything else.
Yeah, definitely.
And I would never sort of say to everybody, you have to leave a job just because you hate it, because in fact, I don't believe that.
Yes, so either do I.
Really important. Make it work for you. So you're in a better position to get the next job.
Exactly.
I get all excited about that as well.
It's good though. That's what your business is about and you're about. But yeah, sorry. Continue.
No, it's fine. It's only because I can talk for Britain. So it's about, I mean, yes, obviously if you do that work-wise, whatever you do outside as well. So many of us just get sort of basically on the treadmill.
Yeah.
Exactly. And it's like, actually, just stop for a minute. What is it that really lights you up?
Exactly.
Go and find a way of doing it, even if it's around your living room for 10 minutes every day. Because you can't get out to a class or whatever. Do it. There's always a way. It may not be the best way, but it's the way you can do it right now. That's absolutely the best way. So that's spend as much time doing things that you really love, that really kind of just literally light you up from the inside. And then number 3 is about really looking at communication. How you communicate with other people, how other people communicate with you, and if you can get there, how you communicate with yourself.
Okay.
Often the reason I get people to look at the way they're communicating with other people and how they're communicating with them first of all is because it's much easier to look outside of yourself than it is to realize that these habits and these ways of saying things that you've been doing for years actually aren't serving you. And understanding actually when I say this phrase to me, what does it mean? And actually, what's my intention when I'm talking to other people? How's that coming across? So lots of things are reflected, and then we can start to go, oh yeah. If we talk about relationships for a minute, I just get, if you're listening or watching this now, just think, if you're in a relationship, how many things does your partner, husband, wife, whatever it is, what do they do that really, really aggravate you? And I say that, and I don't normally get people to think about the negative. But then people always come up with things like, oh, he always leaves the cap off the toothpaste, or the one is, the toilet seat. If this is the case, it doesn't mean anything to him. So therefore, he just doesn't think about it.
Yeah.
If you haven't asked him or told him in a way that helps him understand that it means something to you, never ever going to get
that. That's where communication is very key in any relationship, because if you don't communicate what's on your mind, they're not a right mind reader. How are they going to know? Not going to know, are they?
But we often forget that, and we often also then, this is where we get into really deep stuff. And I know this was kind of the 3 top tips, but the deep stuff is actually what we really mean by what we say. And there's been a few things.
It's a very good, very, very good point. I mean, I like that.
You've got to find out the way that you speak and your partner speaks, or your colleagues at work, or you and your children. And that's that thing really explore.
Wow, no, that's really, really some great tips there, because I think we take for granted our health and well-being, and one thing that was quite interesting at the beginning, before we started the interview, we were talking a lot about coming towards the end, and we're seeing that there's a generation of older people in their 17 and 80s. They're kind of leaving us, aren't they, Naomi? I think we take our health and well-being for granted. We think, we're always going to be around, we're always going to be doing things. So that's really, really useful. But one of the other questions that I wanted to ask you, because I remember when we were doing the video challenges back in the summer, you spoke a lot about the fact that you've been through your own challenges in your life and in your career. So, what have been the main career and life challenges for you? And, how did you overcome them? What did you do to overcome those challenges?
Great question. I kind of narrow it down to 3. I generally only talk about 2 of them, but it feels right to share the first. And the first was that when I was 11, my father was diagnosed with a terminal illness.
Okay.
At the time, of course, my mum coped with everything, supported us, supported him. Nothing that I was doing consciously.
Yeah.
When I look back at it now, of course, I realised that was actually the very first clear understanding that I had about learning that life is or can be outside of my control.
Yeah.
Or certainly my circumstances can. So that's the reason that I mention it now. And the reason I mention about being out of control is because that's one of the key things that I do, is I help people to take back control of whatever their circumstances. The second thing that was really pivotal for me was that my role was made redundant back in the year 2000.
Okay.
I'd left IT just as IT was kind of taking a bit of a downturn, and I'd gone to work in an engineering and telecom company.
Okay.
Canadian corporation. Sorry, I was no American, no Canadian. I remember. There you go. Memories aren't that important, apparently. So when I was working for them, my role was actually to recruit 20,000 people across EMEA, which is Europe, Middle East, and Africa. And that was my role, and I was to do that in a 24-month period, but with a real bias towards the
Oh my God.
I did amazingly, if I say so
Well
myself.
done. Yeah.
I managed to get up to about 9,000, but then the industry took a downturn.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that role really wasn't needed anymore. So I was made redundant. And this is a
Yes.
big question. What people say is it's not about you, it's about the job. And
Mm.
to be honest, it was about me. Because
Yes, it's always about you when we go through redundancy. Yeah, whatever we say. Mm.
I wouldn't necessarily agree with that because it does depend on the role.
Yeah,
But
it
with
does.
me and with this thing, it was absolutely about me.
Okay.
Basically, I'd had a new boss come in. We hadn't hit it off. I had understood where he was coming from.
Yeah.
I was still trying to deliver what my old boss wanted. You know,
Okay.
lots of things where I thought I was doing the right thing, but actually it.
Yeah.
So how did I cope with that? It was hard for a while. It was also the
Mm.
year that my husband and I got married. We moved house. We moved out from London up to Cambridge.
Mm.
We were heading off to, well, we'd actually been to Australia at the turn of the year for 3 weeks for a friend's wedding. We got married,
Okay.
and then in the December of that year, we were heading off to South Africa for some other friends' weddings.
Well.
So it was a fairly busy year, and when that happened, kind of, it literally happened
Yeah.
actually. I was leaving the office to fly out
Mm.
to South Africa and went, okay. So I took that time whilst we were away on holiday and with our
Mm.
friends. I just kind of felt a little bit like I'd been hit by a bowling ball in the face. And we let things settle, and
Yeah.
my husband and I talked. And that was
Mm.
really the biggest thing, was I kind of worked out what was going on for me and really communicated with him.
Mm.
He told me what he sort of felt as well from the outside. I should apologise, by the way, because obviously I realise that I'm holding my hands in my ears, and it's because I've got those old mic headphones that actually really hurt and don't stay in my ear very often. So I look a bit odd, and it's getting
That's fine.
just in case people are wondering why I'm kind of, you know, it's like Princess Leia, isn't it, at Star Wars? So I took that time, and then I
Yeah.
came back, and what
Mm.
I actually did was then I started contracting. Because of the work that I was doing, I was able
Mm.
to then make contracts, and I did a lot of organisational development work. So
Okay.
I will go into a company, I look at what's working, I look at what isn't.
Mm.
So I started contracting, which was really the first step on the way to becoming self-employed. Although I didn't
Okay.
like that because I got that step under my belt. I did sort of a couple of years,
Mm.
and the third thing that really changed my life was that my husband and I were expecting our very first baby. And when I was only 6 months pregnant, he was born with no warning. So literally, I walked into the hospital with backache and pain at 20 past 1,
Mm.
and by 2:30, he was born.
Mm.
My life was turned upside down overnight. The doctor
Mm.
didn't know if he would survive or not, and my career, which I loved, just went out the window. So
Mm.
how I coped with all of that was very much about, okay, I'm in this situation. Again, actually, it was a bit like being hit by a bowling ball. Really, you go into shock.
Mm.
I think you're not actually
Yeah, I can imagine.
just deal with it. So
Mm.
it was an emergency. That, as I say, they didn't expect him to survive the first night. He had an operation on day 4. There's loads more, which I won't, go into.
Yeah, no, that's fine.
It was quite traumatic, and it was really just a case of I used all my skills that I'd been using in the corporate world to
Mm.
basically project management his care. And
Mm.
I project managed his care over 5.5 months. He was in hospital. We were in 6 different hospitals over that time. So it was very
Blimey.
much making sure he
Mm.
had the information they needed, which didn't always happen through the I say the proper channels,
Yeah.
understandable. But
Mm.
it helped that obviously I was there a lot. And then he was on oxygen for 19 months. So I kind of just, my life was just literally focused around looking after and supporting him.
Mm. Mm.
Using a lot of those skills from my other life.
Because it sounds like you're like linking back to the well-being for a minute, that you're very much a nurturer, and you've been a nurturer for a long time, especially with what you went through with your dad as well. And I think that comes from circumstances that we go through in life and what we are taught. I don't know. I believe that anyway. But I don't know what you think about that. It's just
I kind of work on the thought that we have certain qualities. It's a
yeah.
bit of the nature-nurture debate. We have certain qualities,
Mm.
and when we're in situations, that allows us to develop those qualities.
Yeah, I agree with you.
And I think that's very much the case. It is interesting, actually, because I don't particularly see myself as a nurturer.
Oh.
But I can see why you would say that.
Yeah.
The reason I hesitate is purely because I talk very much about empowerment.
I understand that.
These days, and empowerment, and I know we talked about this on the video channel.
Yeah.
People think it's about me getting what's right for me, and I'm going to have my life. And of course, I don't believe that. I do believe it's about you, but I don't believe you should tread on other people to get there.
No, I agree with you.
Empowerment is about looking after you, supporting you, and making sure that works for those people well, so that you can support them and they can support you.
Yeah, no.
Yeah, and I suppose a lot of the time, nurturers sometimes is.
Yeah. They're seen as in the shadows, aren't they? Because they're doing everything and they're not actually seen as like what you're saying, the empowering shadow. But I don't know. I think you can be a little bit of both, but maybe it's having that balance, isn't it? It's having that balance. But
Absolutely.
Going on to, because you've mentioned a little bit more about your business and some of the things that you do in your business, but why do you do what you do? Why is it so important to you?
Well, actually, this comes back to what we were just saying about nature and nurture. It's absolutely my nature. It's always been about empowering people. When we were at school, if we were having a chat about something and somebody wasn't happy, I was always right. So what can we do about this? How can you change? Actually, and this is why I don't think of myself as a nurturer, because sometimes people do just need to kind of sit with it for a bit and and I'm a bit more like, come on, let's go and do something about this, let's take action. So I have to be sensitive about that, because I know sometimes I'm jumping in with 2 feet, and it's about making sure the timing is right on that, because not everybody is ready to make those changes.
Exactly.
So I do, because I'm absolutely, that's my natural ability, my absolute passion. And I mentioned organizational development before. I mean, I've done lots of jobs in my life all about making sure that this is working for you. And organizational development is all about effectiveness. It's about making you as effective as you can be as an individual, team, or as an organization. That's my passion. I can talk about that.
Yeah, no, but that's good, because obviously when clients come to your prospective clients, they see that passion in you, and that's something that's really, really important, because if it wasn't important, they wouldn't be coming to you time and time again, because they need to see that passion. It's very, very important. And talking about passion, the next question is something a little bit more, well, I wouldn't say controversial, but it'd be great to see what you think. But what do you think is more important? A job that pays lots and lots of money, or a job that actually makes you happy?
Ooh, let me think about that. It's absolutely, do a job that makes you happy. So important. I mean, obviously we touched on that earlier. If you're doing something that makes you happy, you are in a better place. That means you can do whatever your circumstances are. Given that as the kind of the other question being, or doing a job that earns you money. I work with lots of people who are kind of my age. They've worked really hard. They've got careers. They're directors, CEOs. They're feeling a bit, life's a bit hollow. Is this really especially when I work with men as well? They've often sacrificed money is useful so long as you make it for you. And I think the society that we live in, we forget that, and we kind of think that we should be working for money.
Yeah.
Work for you. So when I had my children, one of my friends came up with this little phrase that she was teaching and she said, spend, save, and share.
Oh, I like that.
Exactly. Actually, that is so useful. Just think, it doesn't matter if you earn £100 a week or £100,000 a week.
Mm-hmm.
Spend, save, share. And
Mm.
actually, I would turn it around because I've read lots and lots of books. I would say, save first of all, spend, and then share if you've got enough. Because not everybody has. And it's very much, actually, how do I make this work for me? What I teach my children is along those lines, and it's very much a spend less than you earn. You know, I know there's all sorts of ways, and who are in finances are very happy to borrow money to invest it and all that kind of stuff. That's great if you know what you're doing. But for the majority of us, be in control of your money, let it support you. Do a job that you love, because then everything else just falls into place.
No, I agree with you, because I think sometimes a lot of people do thankless jobs, as I like to call it, or they work in the city because they become accustomed to a certain lifestyle, and they get pressure from maybe their other half or their other family members, and they want to maintain that lifestyle. But what ends up happening is they just go into an oblivion. Like, I was watching the news earlier, and it actually said on the news that people who are working more than a 50-hour week are more likely to have a stroke than somebody who works 35 hours a week, which is quite scary, really. So anyone who's an investment banker or a broker, it's kind of, I mean, I'm not trying to scare anyone who might be listening, but it's that thing that we should enjoy our lives as well, because if we're not actually here that long, are we, Naomi, if you think about it?
No, exactly. So you're so right. I mean, I go into companies and I teach stress management. I run stress management workshops.
Yeah.
And you're so right. Actually, if we are stressed, then it will actually to our life expectancy, and it can be all sorts. And over the next few years, we will see statistics come out, such as 1 in 9 women in the UK think or know that they're stressed. Neom Organics, who I do some work with as well, I think you probably not. They did a survey on British women, and the people would rather have more time than money. But the cost in this treadmill, it's not happening. And I used to work for JP Morgan.
Whoa, very interesting.
So, exactly. And we get trapped into these ways of thinking in this way. It's not to say that we don't strive for these things, and stress. This is also one of the things when we talk about stress. Stress isn't necessarily good or bad stress. It just is. It's a biological reaction that we have. But it's about keeping it in balance to support you.
No.
About that phrase.
No, but it's good, because the only reason I just mentioned it is because I just thought about it really in keeping with what we're talking about today. And I think a lot of the people that I work with, some of them are just so overstressed and overstretched. They want to find another job or they want a new career, but they just say, oh, so I don't have the time. Well, I'll say, what do you mean you don't have the time? I understand that you're under a lot of pressure, but it's like what you're saying, they're in that stress bubble. So they just don't know how to get out of it. And going on to that, obviously you even help people who are business owners as well. But what if somebody actually came to you and they had a new, like I always say, business baby idea, and they said, oh, Naomi, this is my idea, and I've had the funding and I'm doing everything right, but I just think it's going to fail. I think it's just going to crash and burn. What would you say to them, and how would you mentor them in a way that would help them?
Well, the very first thing we would do is have a really conversation. Because the reality is that if that's your mindset, it will happen, and it doesn't matter how much support you've got or how much funding. Sometimes that's really hard. That's really hard. If you talk to Richard Branson, who is one of the most well-known entrepreneurs, he will say, I don't know what that is, because I'm not an individual comes to me and they say, okay, look, I've got this idea. And as you just said, if they've already got people that are involved, there's something about it, but it is going deep, finding out what is the fear that's holding them back. Because that's the other thing, you can make a start. But if you've got a fear that's gripping onto you, it will just reduce your effectiveness. Limit your business or limit what you do. And I'm a practitioner of NLP, so that's, and I train specifically in health and healing, which is well-being. So very much about, okay, let's go deep here. What's really happening? What's really going on? Essentially, and then we need to reconnect you with your heart and go, right, come on. So we do the first one, and then we make a plan. People who want to work with me, or people who like writing down things. So then we'd get a big whiteboard out, or whatever it happens to be for that individual,
Yeah. So it would be quite a strategic thing, but individual to their needs, because every business owner has different needs and different fears around why their business may not work. But I think it's quite insightful what you said about Richard Branson, because if there wasn't people like Richard Branson or the Alan Sugars of the world, you know, I think a lot of people have gone into a business because of those people, because they were just ordinary people who just had very interesting ideas and then they just developed, didn't they? So I think it's always good to remember them as people who are inspirational. But I mean, obviously you've got so much knowledge. You've learned about NLP. I mean, you trained in NLP, and you know, well-being and health is very, very important to you. But if you were to recommend a book on well-being and looking after ourselves, what book would you recommend to anybody out there who's watching today?
Okay, that's a really hard question. Because I work in such a bespoke way with individuals, there isn't any one book that I would recommend.
Okay.
Because it's just a whole thing. What I would say is, I hope it's okay to offer this.
Yes, of course.
I do offer a completely free conversation where we look at things that are holding you back. And actually, if people ring me on that, then I can recommend a book for them. So that's available to all of your clients.
Yeah.
And then I will absolutely promise that I will recommend the right book for the right individual at the right time.
I think I like that about you, Naomi, because I think it's important to remember that we are all individuals, and that's what I try to do with my clients, because client A might come to me with one scenario and client C will come with another, client B will come with another. And I think, you know, it's not nice to put people into boxes either. But I think sometimes what I feel, which is why I wanted to ask you that question, is that when you go into a bookstore, there's so many self-help books, health books, this book, that book. And to be honest, I get overwhelmed. I don't know about you, but I get overwhelmed about which book I should read, which book shouldn't I read. So I think it's a good answer, because I think that if we are going to work on ourselves and have self-development, we should read as many books as possible which call to us, is probably what you're saying. Is that correct?
I think that's absolutely. I mean, when I first started, kind of being interested in self-help, this was 20 odd years ago, and actually probably more like 30, because I was 15. I remember very clearly when I was 15, I found a book on empowerment for women. And I don't just work with women, I do work with men as well. But when I was 15, I found this book. I couldn't even tell you where I got it from. And so when I started to go into bookstores, we have kind of one or two shelves of self-help books. Well, now, actually, of course, there's lots.
There's too many.
There is. Go right back to what we were saying at the beginning of our conversation. And we were saying that actually just connecting with your core sense every day. So even when you're feeling overwhelmed, and even when you're standing in front of these things and going, I don't know which one to choose, close your eyes and take a deep breath. And you'll notice, because it's a bookstore, so everybody's interested in their books. Breath, and then just trust that you will go right, and you'll either open your eyes and you see the book right in front of you that you need, or your hand will almost magically kind of reach out and get a book. Oh, okay, yeah, that's the one. So in that moment, you just let everything else fall away, and you'll get whatever it is.
Yeah, no, No, I agree with you, because I was in Foyles, I think, last week, just looking at books. I didn't buy anything, but I also write in my spare time. And I saw a book by this girl. I can't remember the name of the book, but she actually died in a car crash. But she was I think she was either at Harvard or Brown, and she wrote these really, really amazing essays about how social media is making us all very lonely in her generation, slightly younger than me. But they were published. And so it looked like a really interesting book, but it just called to me because a lot of the people that I work with, they keep on saying, especially if they work in technology, that I have a relationship with my computer, then they should be having a relationship with people around them. It's not healthy, is it? Not with a computer. So I can understand why something like that would be published, but I think, that book spoke to me, but another book would speak to somebody else. And I think the books are a great way of learning, but then again, Naomi, books aren't for everybody, are they? There are lots of other resources out there that we can.
Sorry, that's one of the things actually about social media. And I mean, obviously, we're having a conversation today. You're on your laptop. I'm on my phone. It's really quite amazing.
Yeah,
that's really key. I see this with my children as well. It's very easy for them to just get their tablets or whatever it is and play on that all day.
Yeah.
Whereas actually, my oldest son would also, if I just gave him a book or a Kindle, or I should say library, because he will do it. So there's always, whether it's books, whether it's listening to audio, whether it's watching video, but it's important, whatever you do, in my opinion, to get out and make sure somehow, first of all, that you're outside, but ideally that you're meeting other people. And even if you move to an area and you don't know anybody, you don't know what's down the road, if it's appropriate, and I appreciate there's different cultures and so on, but you walk down the road, keep your head up, and just make eye contact and say hello.
Yeah.
Good afternoon. As I say, so long as it's culturally appropriate. That alone, that human connection is so important.
It's so important. And I think that there's been a lot of stuff in the news about how a lot of people in their 60s are feeling more and more lonely because they're not having that connection and stuff like that. And my mum is in her 60s, but she goes to lots of clubs to get that connection. And I think it's really, really important that you maintain that, so you're not on your own, basically. But kind of going back to the general questions, who is your role model, Naomi? I'd really love to hear.
See, now, I don't have role models, and I never have.
Okay.
They kind of growing up as a teen.
Yeah.
Pop idols on the wall. I mean, I liked Duran Duran and I liked Adam Ant, and I wasn't, and I'm still not like that today.
Okay.
I might look at somebody and say, I really admire that particular quality in that person, but I don't have a role model. It's very much about me evolving my life the way that it is. But I do learn from other people, and that's really, really important. I can't say I wholesale take anything. In fact, probably the person who inspires me most, actually, is actually my husband.
Oh, it's lovely.
He's an amazing man. I mean, I'm particularly lucky, but he's really grounded. He's nurturing, again, empowering way.
Sounds like an amazing guy.
He's gentle. He's strong. He's something that I'd like to be if I, kind of could. And he works in a technical trade, so his job is all about making sure that conditions are as good as they can be for the whole supply chain. So he does a job that morally obviously fits in with us, but just having seen him grow, we've been together nearly 20 years, but that watching him grow as an individual, if I was to choose anybody, I would say him, but he inspires me, but he's not a role model for me.
I mean, as you know, with any of these questions that I ask, they should be individual to who I ask them to. So that's a really nice answer. I like that, because it's great to have someone who inspires you, because it's important that we're surrounded by positive people, because if we're not surrounded by positive people, and you're a very positive, upbeat person, I think that's why I really liked your videos when we were doing the video challenge, that we need more of those type of people, because life is hard enough, isn't it? Let's be honest, and we need to surround ourselves with those sorts of people. That's what I think, anyway. But but like, obviously your business is really, really important to you, and you know, I love the passion and I love the enthusiasm. It's kind of infectious almost, and I love that. But if you weren't, I mean, you've had lots of different careers and you've gone from lots of different things, but if you weren't a business owner today, what do you think you would be doing?
I know exactly what I'd be doing, because becoming a business owner really came out of my starting and so my business very much grew as a lifestyle business, using my old skills, going through my own healing and my development, and it's kind of grown out.
Okay.
If I wasn't actually running my own business, I would be doing organisational development in organisations, whether that would be within a big company or whether it be as consultancy. That's absolutely, because it is my passion. And at the moment, I'm doing it more focused on individuals. Expect my career to encompass doing that for bigger groups and organisations as time goes on. I've got loads of work left in me, and of course, as my kids are getting older, yes, I mean, I'm still obviously very involved, particularly in my older child's education because of special needs. But actually, I'm managing to kind of do a bit more work. You know, that kind of stuff as well. So that's exactly what I'm doing.
No, that sounds, I mean, obviously you've mentioned already that you do stress management workshops for organizations as it is, but it's great to have development from there and to know where you actually want to go, because there's still obviously a lot more in your business name's Core Sense, isn't it? Core Sense, and what's going to evolve. It's going to evolve and it's going to keep on changing. I mean, how long have you been running that particular business?
Well, it was incorporated as a limited company 5 years ago.
Okay.
I actually sort of started it about 4 or 5 years before that, so it's kind of the 10 years really. And the reason I incorporated it was because I just got to a stage where it was, well, I'm self-employed. I was realising that actually I'm evolving in a way. I know my dreams, my vision for Core Sense. It just felt right. It was the name came up. It was one of those intuitive, that's my name, that's what I've got to do. So I'm going to make this a company, and I'm kind of growing into it, as it were, as I go.
No, but that's what business is about, and I think a lot of people don't realise that it does take time. It's not something that you just wake up one morning and then all of a sudden you have all these clients knocking on your door. It's something you have to work damn hard for, and that you have to, you know, make sure that you find the people who are right for you, isn't it? That's what I feel, and I sense that with you, because not only are you passionate about what you do, you're passionate about your clients and making sure they get the right results for them, because I think that's what we should be doing if we have individual businesses like this. But it was really, really lovely speaking with you today. I really, really enjoyed interviewing you. I hope you enjoyed speaking and answering my questions today as well.
I did. I hope it's been useful as well, because that's really the key thing, isn't it? We spend time talking to each other. Obviously, if it's of some inspiration to somebody else, that would be the best thing.
Yeah. Well, thank you very much for your time, and thanks a lot. Bye.